What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of season 2. Please wait as we begin tonight's episode.
Welcome to Sunday Night Dead.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 5 of Sunday Night Dead season 2. So we've got quite a few people in here already. Jamie says, I've had a coffin kind of day, but it's actually a good kind of coffin day. As folks on this channel will understand, I'm sure Revenge of the Apocalypse will explain. Well, Jamie has become my model train layout casket maker. So, to those of you that do or don't know, Jamie actually does do a lot of 3D printing and has been experimenting with doing 3D printing for different railroad items. And one of those is actually, because of, me being a weirdo and all that, caskets. So, let's actually show everybody. Let's find a good picture here. Okay, so this is probably the one that'll show up the best on screen. Here is a bunch of caskets that are 3D printed in HO scale, which is pretty freaking awesome. So if you guys had seen my training video, RJ had picked me up a building. It's called Crush'em Casket Co., and it's on the train display in the HO section. So I had asked Jamie if it would be possible to make some caskets for it, which obviously is possible. So that is something to definitely look forward to seeing on the layout. I have to make an updated train video. We've actually added a few trains. So to give a reference, this photo here is from JP Videos. He sent me this photo. So this is a JP's Videos image. This is of 4859 in Harrisburg. It is a GG1, and we've actually got the O scale of that actually came in the mail the other day. If I can find it. Kind of a crappy picture. Like I said, I really haven't done much with the layout in the past couple days, but there we have the exact engine sitting on the display down next to 611 down there. So it is an O scale GG1. It's a Williams by Bachmann. So it's not, too terrible. And then we've also got a pretty interesting score. This here is a Lionel T1 2101, the Chessie System Special, or Chessie Steam Special. Thinking Chessie System from the tender here. You guys can see there's actually the tender sitting on the display. I have to get some actual footage of these things and show them. But the cool thing is about the Chessie, that's actually from the 90s, brand new. Like it was never. It ended up coming out of the box to be displayed, but was never ran. It still has like all the brand new stuff. Like even like right here, they have the sound activation button, and that's all brand new. Like there's no curls in the wiring or anything. Like nothing was ever used. It has all the original paperwork, box, in kind of like horrible-ish condition for the age. You can tell it's an age box. That's the side of the box right there, which is pretty cool. So I'll show another image of it real quick, but it is O scale, and I got to do a video showing you guys. But it's neat, the fact that it's actually from the 90s, and the cool thing is the price tag on that. You won't be able to see it on the by me showing you on the camera, but the original price sticker on it actually says $1,627.50, which is pretty freaking nuts, thinking that engine from the 90s costs that much money. Like that is insane. Like back in the 90s, like that much for an engine is just that's wild. Most engines now are actually like around that price. I actually have, let's see, I know I got pictures of these things, but this is actually one that I have coming as well. It's actually, I have a deposit on it. This one is 1600. It's 4449, the Freedom Train O scale Lionel Legacy, and that thing, I cannot wait. I just absolutely cannot wait to show that one on the display, because that's going to go down on the museum level and actually sit right next to 611, and then next to the GG1 there. So the only bad thing is obviously with getting back into doing the landscaping now, we've shifted tracks. Train fun. So now I'm getting busy with doing outdoor work. A lot of you know I've actually geared up my own business with doing outdoor work. So I have my business that I'm dealing with. Then I still work for the company that I worked for last year as well. So there's a lot of work, but there's a lot of training. So but this should be an interesting season. So once the outdoorsy work kind of comes to a close, once we get closer to April, then that's when you guys know the fun begins, and that's when Halloween comes around, and that's when we are going to start going crazy with the Halloween decorations. Now, as I had made mention in my last video, myself and JP Videos are talking about doing a few cemetery things, and one of which is actually going to be reinvestigating a cemetery where I found a hole in the ground which exposed something underneath. So that is actually going to be our replay video for tonight, and I'm going to show you guys that. It is a relatively quick one. It's like 10 minutes long. If you guys have seen that video, then you know the excitement that's coming. It is a very interesting video. If you guys have not seen that video, then be warned, it may or may not come off as being graphic, mildly offensive, or whatever you may possibly want to call it. It is slightly on the disturbing side to some viewers. So just with that kind of clearing out of the way, I'm going to show you guys that video somewhat early now. It's early into the stream, but I want to share that one because then we can kind of have a conversation and touch base on it, and then we can continue with some train talk. So okay, well, Jamie, now you get to see it, and it's quite interesting. So I'm actually going to go ahead and play that one now. So if you like cemeteries and you like to see things creepy, then you don't want to miss this one. So let's go ahead and get that started. Again, mild warning, it could be a little possibly disturbing to some people. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are at Rosemont Cemetery to further investigate the hole that is in the ground by the tombstone. So actually upon my, as I fell in the hole right there, upon my entering here, I did actually find that there is quite a few more stones that are sinking into the ground, and I'm going to show you guys those right here, which actually looks like we've got some fresh activity. You guys can see this is moved here, and that was moved quite recently. And there you can see the hole in question. This right here looks like it was literally just freshly mowed, and this has moved because, yeah, you can see that was just recently moved. Since the last time that I was here, I'm assuming. I don't remember that being there like that, but you guys will be able to see in a moment. We do actually have another stone, if I can find it. I saw it driving up. That was also sinking into the ground. We got some old steps there. If I can find it, yeah, here we go. Okay, so it looked a lot worse from the road. So that is sunk it in a little bit, but it's not anywhere near as bad. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with what we came here for. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with what we came here to do. It's a shame to see the cross broken like that. But anyway, we have a light on top of the Hero 9 right now, as well as a stick, which we are going to funnel down that hole and see if we come across anything. So bear with me while I get everything set up here. All right, guys, so as you were able to just see, it kind of looked like a little labyrinth down there. You can definitely see we were inside of something that was almost cave-like. So were we in fact actually inside of a collapse vault? I don't really know. I know there is grass down there from, obviously this has been open for a while and there's been grass clippings going down there, probably some animals as well. But during that one clip, is that a coffin that we were looking at? Is that a casket? It does appear that there was something down there, but obviously with, you know, such a small hole and only the means that I was able to have, it's kind of hard to tell. But basically putting the camera in and then looking over to this direction, it appeared to be something in there. So it would have been right here in this section, which may have been correct, or even alongside of this one here. Jesus. That just scared the shit out of me. There's a baby deer sitting there by that headstone. This is amazing. That is seriously freaking amazing. Oh my God, I gotta get a photo of this. Alright guys, so now that I scared off the poor deer, right here you can actually see where we have another exposed area. So guys, I am unsure of that one. However, like I said, before I got distracted by that amazing deer sighting, which just totally made this trip worth coming out to see. That was amazing. But it does look like, now again, I got to look at the footage, so I'm going to type in the text here, maybe if I'm wrong, but it does look like we may have found a casket down there, but I'm not 100% sure. So do want to thank everybody for coming along and joining me for this adventure. I did take an hour drive just to come back here to check that out, as well as purchasing some other equipment to make this video possible. Yeah, so definitely appreciate you guys watching. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time. Okay, so again, really interesting, and I'm curious to find out if that hole is still there. Now, what's actually interesting about this is when I actually came home and I tried to look up the cemetery, I was actually going to report them for that. And I tried to report them to the best of my abilities to have something done about this. But funny enough, about 2 weeks before I even went to the cemetery, the news was actually already out there. And they did a story on the cemetery on how neglected it is. which, not that I want to say it's funny, but it's just it's funny how the timing was. And when the news went out, it was basically because the grass was like up over the headstones and everything. So they actually got cited with a time limit of when they had to have the grounds cleaned, and that would make a lot of sense on why. If you look back to the beginning of the video, you can see where I'm like, oh, like this looks like recently something happened. You can see where there's the headstone just laying by the hole, and you see a dirt print where like it used to be laying, but then it's like skidded over and moved, which leads me to believe that they were taking probably some like zero turn mowers in there and actually ramming into these headstones, causing them to fall over, move around. Like that cemetery has a lot of headstones that are damaged and pushed over and bumped into. So something obviously has caused that damage and has done that. So it's just really interesting that I found that news story after going there and finding that. But the news basically didn't want to go back out to it, because to them they were already just there. However, they did say they wish that they had in fact known about it. And I tried to contact like local police. I tried to contact the cemetery, and because realistically, on an aspect of a hazard, I mean, you could have somebody that's walking through there that's handicapped, that has a cane or anything, and next thing you know, they're falling in a hole, with their foot, or as you guys saw in that second set, you really don't know if that ground is going to just collapse, and next thing you know, you're hanging with the body, which is you can make it sound like horror, or you can make it sound funny, or however you like, but really think about how traumatizing that would be. Next thing you know, you fall and you're in with another person. It's definitely not something that anyone really wants to experience, I'm sure. And with these vaults and caskets being exposed, it's more than likely that it's something that could actually happen. Going to mausoleums, there's a few channels that have gone to mausoleums and that have actually caught things that really shouldn't be caught, where there's bones from people, which I don't understand. This one, you literally have a mausoleum that's like, even like it's an abandoned mausoleum, and you got people that are literally ripping these caskets out of the walls, and like there's bones of these people just like scattered amongst the floor and things like that. Like I just don't understand people and them doing that. That's just on some whole other level of disturbing. So needless to say, you would never catch me in a mausoleum, because no. Yeah, no. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy and very scary, but again, you would probably need like years of therapy, for I mean, even me, as much as I love horror and things like this, if I was walking in a cemetery and the ground collapsed and I fell into a casket with a body, I'd probably freak the hell out. Like that would just be like that's just traumatizing in its own. So realistically, that cemetery should be in trouble for the way that they are allowing it to be sitting like that. I actually did send the video and the information to Lamont at Large. I know some of you probably know him. He's on the higher scale of YouTube when it comes to cemeteries, and he's also been around other contacts like Mobile Instinct, who connection with him is Journey with Jay, which I know you guys have seen Journey with Jay on this channel a few times. So I've actually told him about this place, but funny enough, it doesn't seem like he's too interested. I haven't heard back from him yet. But myself and JP videos, he hasn't been there yet, but I plan on doing the revisit. And Stephanie, who can't you stand? Which one can't you stand? Um, and actually show Jay the hole for the first time, because I'm going to take the assumption and say it's still there, and it's probably worse, unless they miraculously fixed it. Which, I mean, that would be a cool video too, being able to show you guys that somebody actually stepped in and they repaired it. I'm hoping after a year of it being the way it was, that somebody actually did. But obviously for entertainment value, it's kind of more entertaining if it's not fixed and it's still exposed and something for you guys to see. But on a realistic aspect, it's better to actually see it repaired. Really, Stephanie, I actually didn't know that. That is actually pretty interesting. If you know what that is, I mean, by all means, don't advertise it on here then and give them the publicity. But feel free to send me a link to that, on my Facebook, and I would definitely like to see that, because then that would I've never met him. I've only ever seen a handful of his videos, and I know he goes to most of the popular locations. Um, but yeah, if that's the case, then that is not cool. Yeah, that would definitely be a strikeout in my book. Yeah, I have like a very strong zero tolerance with a lot of stuff, so that would definitely cross the line. So Jamie, how do you feel now that you finally got to see that video now? I think the whole thing with the deer sitting by the tombstone though was just amazing, to be honest. Yeah, when I first located that, I actually went there to film the cemetery, and then I ended up there's Stephanie. I ended up coming home, and I went online and ordered the pole and the light for the GoPro specifically to actually make that video. And I went back there, and the hole was still there. So, and that was like a week later. So within a week, like nobody even did anything. I wasn't even bothered. I didn't even see any other people when I was there. Hence, probably why the deer was so comfortable. Just being there hanging out. Probably not too used to a lot of people actually being there. I did not know that. Tomorrow is National Down Syndrome Day. I actually didn't know that. Well, Jamie, there you go for the 3D printing. You got to make a nice big headstone and have little baby deer sitting under it. That would actually look really cool. Honestly, on a train layout, having a small animal just hanging out under a headstone, that would actually look pretty cool. That would be neat. That would add that like effect. Yeah, PA with sinkholes, and it's crazy though thinking about how like bodies are being like swallowed up into the ground, and then like it's just nuts. But I do feel like cemeteries should have a certain level of being maintained, and they really aren't. Um, like it is a real shame how they're not taken care of. Which, again, to those of you that didn't catch last time's stream, I am planning on putting legitimate headstones out in the yard this year for Halloween. That's going to be one of my key factors for this year, along with a new little casket surprise. So hopefully you guys are ready for that because Halloween is going to be like insane. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta. Okay, just had to do one thing. Had to converse real quick. Yeah, so Jake was actually. I gave him my tablet to watch YouTube, and he was like right behind me playing like I think it's like Mr. Beast or something, and I'm like, oh Jesus, like that's gonna come through the mic. Like we gotta like go to that end of the house with it. Next thing you know, you guys would be listening to Mr. Beast. And I still gotta figure out my method for what I'm doing with the train display with the whole webcam thing. I do want to add in the trains so that way like when we like do this and stuff, if you guys want to like check in on the levels, I can just like bing, press a button and you guys are in one of the levels. I don't know. Like a lot of what Mr. Beast does is like over the like I mean you get it when you film, you know, kind of like the tricks and the gimmicks and you know the bull crap, and a lot of the stuff he does is just I would say on the higher podium of all the like big time YouTubers. I would say out of any of them I would probably have, you know, respect for him. um, but a lot of the stuff's staged, a lot of the videos are staged. Yeah, I have to find a way where I can get webcams inside of each level, like probably just have them permanently inside and just run wires out to that room where they're at, um, and then be able to just switch it, and we can just sit and watch some trains run. But it doesn't have to be like an all the time thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be an all the time thing. But if you guys want to see the trains, and you know, if I'm talking, like I can still talk on this, and then let you guys see what the updates are. Which the cool thing is too is on the webcam, like since the display is so compact, that one camera in each level will literally show you the entire thing. So but yeah, it definitely would. Um, Speaking of things, there are problems with trains, and Jamie can actually speak on this too and confirm this. But pre-orders are getting canceled. Not all pre-orders, but there are issues. Um, so either they're getting postponed or they are actually straight up being canceled. Like I had a pre-order for the F unit that's in Strasbourg's museum 9501 and canceled. Like just straight up canceled. And I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. So Yeah, there went that one for the display. I was kind of looking forward to that going down in the bottom. Um, but I do know where I could possibly get another one, so that's not totally out of the cards yet. But yeah, cancellations, limited production. Um, I had a N scale 425. It's actually the same N scale 425 that Jamie has. Actually, I had one. It was back ordered, and that canceled, and I got refunded. I have a pre-order on another N scale 425 that's supposed to be its prior blue color, where it's the lighter blue, and that I'm hoping actually arrives. Because if it doesn't, then I'm not getting the N scale 425, and I'm going to have to figure out a different N scale train to go on my N scale layout. Luckily, because of that, even though I know where to get the Pennsylvania, um, the passenger cars, I haven't, because of that specific fact of if 425 does not pull through. Yeah, and Jamie, right now my biggest fear is the F unit, 270 and 275, the A and B unit. That one I'm truthfully terrified over, and I'm really hoping does not get canceled. I would be devastated if that one gets canceled because it's never been released yet. Like that one has never came out yet, so that would suck. Um, Out of all the ones to be canceled, I'm kind of glad it's the one that it is because it has already came out in production, so I can possibly find it. Um, but if the Reading and Northern F unit gets canceled, I'm gonna be like sad, pissed, and all kinds of I don't even know what. And even 425, I pre-ordered the NTH 425, um, a while ago, almost a year ago now, and I haven't gotten it. I was supposed to have it in September last year, and it never came out. So, and that's the thing. As much as I want 425 and O scale, I know Lionel made it. Um, like I could always possibly find 425 that has came out, but those F units, that is a this is like the only shot at getting them. So if they get canceled, that's going to really be a devastating blow. Yeah, so like the hard thing for me is that I only am getting specific numbers. So like I don't like I'm not like going out and saying like, oh, like here's this cool, diesel locomotive. It's a Pennsylvania one. Like I'm not doing that. Um, Even though there's a few that I found that are like, it's really tempting, but um, all of mine are specific numbers. Um, so like let's see, on my top layer, um, I have for the O scale, I have the Reading and Northern 2531 and 2530. They actually exist. They're in Jim Thorpe. They go up to Scranton, all kinds of different runs. Um, I have the Chessie Steam Special, which I showed you guys, 2101. That's part of the Reading Ramblers. Um, and let me think here. 225. That's in Reading. And then down on the lower deck, we've got the GG1. I don't remember the number for that, but that's in Harrisburg. Um, Strasburg 90 in Strasburg. 611. If you don't know what 611 is, then you don't know trains. um, think. The Big Boy 4000. That's one that was built but scrapped. I think it's it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah, I think by you, I think CSX is actually what runs in your area, isn't it? Let's face it, we all love Chessie because of the cat. The color scheme is beautiful too, though. I do like the color of the Chessies. It's kind of one of those things that makes me really like 44, 49, even though, a California train is nowhere near local to here. It's just that daylight color scheme is just you can't beat it. That is one of the best looking trains out there. Oh, nice. Yeah, see, like if I had that kind of like history, and if I lived where CSX and things were, you know, running through, then I would probably be after them. But since I'm right here, where I'm at, and the trains literally pass my house every day, I've mainly focused on the Reading and Northerns. Um, I do have a CSX in HO. Its numbers I don't remember. Um, it's like 40, maybe, no, 80 something, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do have a CSX, a BNSF, and a Southern switcher. Um, I had a little Conrail, but I didn't like it, so RJ bought it off of me. A little HO Conrail. I didn't care for it. I bought it, took it out of the box, and didn't like it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you the money for it." So now RJ has it. So if you see a little HO uh, 2101, or no, 2102, I think it is, little Conrail on RJ's layout, he got that from me. That's the one I kicked off of my layout. I didn't care for it too much. Yep, that's it. 2102. Which, so here's the thing, and Jamie, you might find the interest in this too, and this is actually kind of funny. Um, so as you know, 2102 in Steam is the engine that's over in Jim Thorpe, a part of the Reading Ramblers. That's actually coming here. But then that Conrail diesel was numbered 2102, which is really neat that they have like the same numbers, but one's a diesel and one's a steam. Actually, I should actually go to it, like a train show at some point. I probably should do a train show, especially for like scenic stuff, like houses and things like that. A lot of this stuff's just expensive, but I'm going to start slowing down with the layout now anyway, because my hands are going to be tied with working, what filming I can do, and then once Halloween comes around, then forget it. It's just full blown Halloween, and then after Halloween, Christmas. Then after Christmas, train display. And tomorrow should be an interesting day. Um, we have RJ coming up. He's going to be assisting with the job. It's actually local here, kind of like a subcontract kind of deal. Um, so I'll be working with RJ a little bit for probably half the day tomorrow on a job, doing some leaf cleanup. I love how like all these live streams do is like they curve into like Halloween and trains. It's kind of funny. Oh, and my 9 o'clock train came at like 8:56, so we missed it. And I was like, really? It came early today? So this is like the first time I think that we have not caught the train passing the house because it came early. And I still gotta check these messages here that Stephanie sent. Let's see here. Well, that's interesting. So, it would appear Stephanie is correct. That's kind of a shame. I should say I'm not surprised though, but that is definitely a shame there. As you can't argue that. One video he has is actually talking crap on a disabled guy, and then his URL is pretty screwed up. If you go to his channel and read it, it's pretty messed up. That's it's one of those things you really wouldn't notice that one unless you dig for it. That is crazy though. That is crazy. But alright guys, I think it's going on for a decent amount of time. I know at least during the summer season, we'll probably keep the live streams to about an hour, unless we have a really cool, crazy stream going. But just because it's like, tomorrow's going to be Monday, so I got to get up early and it's going to be back to doing the usual, so definitely got to make sure I get my sleep tonight. So I think that's what we're going to do is like winter time when there's like nothing going on, we're really hammering on like the longer like playback videos, and that kind of does give a good break because I don't have many videos left to show you guys that are like that lengthy. So this is kind of a good chance to show those like 10, 15, 20 minute videos, even a half hour videos. And I do got to get out and do some filming. I still have some content to upload from hanging out with JP videos the other week. I'm sure you guys have already seen those videos on his end. I did upload one video. It's a members only video though, so only the members are able to see that one, just mainly because of the location. It's not one that should really be shown really too much. But anyway, stay tuned for those. I just got to get some time, maybe a nice rainy day, to sit at the computer for a little bit and get those up. So with that being said, guys, I do want to thank everybody for joining in for another fun little chit-chat night. And hopefully everybody has had a good day and is ready to have a good night. And unfortunately, for those of you that work, happy Monday. It's coming. It's dreadfully coming. So we all know how everybody feels about Mondays. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.